Okay, hello, dear friends. This is Miss Tara D, and going live. So I'm sure some of you will be popping in any moment. And this is the first time that I'm using StreamYard. I'm really excited. I'm using the free version. So I'm learning how to do things. So please forgive me if I miss something. And I'll just wait. It's still a little early, so let's just wait for people to come into the room. Nancy, good morning. Good afternoon. You're our first guest today. Welcome. Jane. Okay. Now let me just see something. No, that's not it. Ooh. Well, everybody's just coming in all at once. Hi, everyone. Teresa and Amy, False Teeth, Nancy. And if you have a Terra question, please type it large so I could see. And just so everybody knows what we're doing today is Miss Tara D, she's an old broad, but she's learning new tricks. It's always good to learn new tricks. And one of the new things that I'm learning is how to use StreamYard. Unfortunately, I have to use the free one for now until I get a budget. I'm working with my producers to get a budget for my channel here. Producers being my husband. He won't give me the money, but that's okay. And so everybody's using the StreamYard. So I said, let me see what the StreamYard is all about. So Jane gave me some advice. She's a lot more tech savvy than I am. And while it was wonderful advice, I didn't understand a word she wrote, but that's okay. Her and I will chat later. She'll help me. Yeah, so I figured today we would just gossip a little. You guys talk amongst yourselves. And I'm going to learn how to start people. And then I want to learn when you have a question, how to put it like on the bottom, you know how they show it where it says like, false teeth. My question is, what are my spirit guides? So everybody can see the question. So I wanted to learn how to do that. I don't know. So I'm going to mess up a lot, but that's okay. And in between, we're going to have some laughs and we're going to do some greetings, hopefully. But before we start, I just want to show you all, like I said, I'm an old broad learning new things. As many of you who are on my Facebook page saw, I'm looking for new ideas for wigs. A lot of them are very expensive. I just can't afford them. They're like $200, $300. And then the cheaper wigs that I like, they don't have them in my color. Go figure. You would think everybody would want a purple lilac wig. So I've been watching on YouTube this amazing drag queen. She's been on RuPaul and everything. James Manfield. I don't know how many of you have heard of her. She's hysterical. And she has her own YouTube channel where she teaches you how to style wigs. So I've just been watching and learning. So I bought some cheap wigs from Amazon, and I've been learning how to style them. I'm not very talented. I'm not very handy. I usually go on Saturdays to the beautician, and she does my hair because I just make a mess out of it. But I'm gonna post some pictures on my Facebook, but in the meantime, I want to show you what I did. These are the 2 wigs that I bought. I love the colors, and I bought 2 because I want to, what they call, stack them to make them bigger. And these were straight synthetic wigs, and I learned how to roll them. I put them all in rollers, and I steamed them, and then I teased them out. And this one is going to go on top of, the lighter one is going to go on top of the darker one, you see? And it's going to be a big, big wig. So I think I did a pretty good job. You know, I have to give myself lots of credit for learning something new. And I encourage all of you to, you know, try something new. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, you know? You get a fuzzy wig, big deal. So that was that. Now let me just see, because we have so many wonderful people who popped in. And I'm going to take a second just to scroll back up. So I said hi to Nancy, Crohn's Intuition, Jane, of course. For those of you who don't know, Jane and I are soul sisters. So we grew up in different places and went to different schools together, you know. But, you know, we're sisters. Teresa, we said hi. Amy. Oh, Nancy said, so happy to catch you live. Yes, girl, I'm so happy to be alive. You don't know. False Steve, hello, ladies. Blue Crescent Tara. Hershey. So, by the way, I've been following Hershey's channel as well, and I've been trying to catch her. She's a very powerful reader. So for those of you who haven't caught on yet, keep an eye out for her lives or even her recordings. She does some really deep readings. She read for me the other night, and I was like, wow. So shout out to Hershey. Let me see here. Who else do we have? Amy Warrior Princess. Hi, Amy. And I appreciate you, all of you, like, you know, just being patient with me and helping me. And okay, Blue Crescent Tara said, just click on the comment question. Okay, so here's comment. Oh, and then hi. So I just click on it. Look. Wonderful. See, this is why it's so great to do something like this with the community, because everybody just helps you. I would have been like all over the place on settings and profiles and everything trying to find it, and I would have never known. All you do is click on the name. Wonderful. Okay. Oh, Jane wants a general reading. Okay, so I'm going to click on her, star her, and Jane, I'll get right to you in a minute. And then I'm going to start Nancy. And False Teeth didn't get a chance to say hello to Amy. So Amy, False Teeth, is saying hello, okay? And she's got a whole bunch of emojis just for you. So don't be upset with her. Oh, thank you, Blue Crescent. Blue Crescent saw my post with some of the pictures. Thank you. I'm trying. It's so much fun to learn new things, you know. And learning to do my own makeup. For years and years, whenever I needed my makeup done, I would have to count on my husband. And I'd wait. And he's a perfectionist. And he wouldn't do it the way I did it. And it just, and then we would get into tiffs with each other because at the end, I was like, it's not what I wanted. And he's like, but that's what you asked for. You know how we are. Couples fight. So now I'm learning to do my own. I still need him, though, to do my lips and my eyebrows because I just can't do that. But, you know, I'm working on my contouring. I see I got to go a little lighter on the cheeks. It's very different when you have this light as opposed to the other light. But I'm learning, you know, to do my contouring a little bit more and, you know, work. Maybe I should use this light next time when I'm doing my foundation and my contouring. You know, what do you think, girls? Tell me what you think in the comments. Remember to do all your YouTube things and show Miss Tarady how much she's loved. Oh, thank you, Hershey. And then, so here's the other thing. Jane was telling me you on StreamYard, you cannot assign moderators. So then she said something, you could do it on YouTube, like turn on your YouTube on your phone and iPad and think, and then they should hear. But I forgot to charge my iPad and I can't see my cell phone. I can't see YouTube on my cell phone. You know, my vision isn't so good on that. But I'm gonna learn how to do that. But you know, feel free. You know, when I do the YouTube channel, I'll definitely assign moderators. Because it's so helpful when people are there. Okay. Hershey, did you need a reading today? Oh, Amy, okay. I see you now. All right. Let me see. I'm going to scroll really quickly a little bit to catch up with you guys. Yes, we'll. Flowing's here. And Jane says, you have me set as a mod. Oh, I do? Okay. How did I do that? And how do you know you're a moderator? How do I see it? Okay. Okay. Blind spot. All right. So I'm going to go and let's see the start people. Let's start with Jane. Jane would love a general reading, please. Okay. Jane is a highly spiritual person. Everybody knows. Lord, please forgive me. I can't believe that I did not do this. I forgot to cleanse my sacred space. So much going on, you know, sometimes you just forget. I'm glad I thought of it before we did the readings first. Now, for those of you who don't know, we don't really burn incense in the house because it makes my husband cough and my allergies. So what I did is, and you could buy this on Amazon if you want. I've learned to make my own. So it's Florida water, sage oil, lavender, and a crystal, quartz crystal for purity. And what I do is I don't spray my cards. Don't do that because you'll ruin your cards. You have something like a fan, okay? Your fan should be your altar or your sacred fan. You should only use it for this. Don't use it, you know, for the opera, and don't use it for going out in the heat. Only use it for your sacred space, okay? Because it becomes a magical tool. And what you do is you spray it with your sage oils, okay? And then you fan around your sacred space, okay? And we eliminate all negativity, and we invite positivity and good intentions into our readings and into our sacred space. We ask all angels, spirits, and ancestors to join us and give us messages that we seek. And then a little for Miss Tarady. Okay. So yeah, so that's what Miss Charity does. You know, and different people do different things. Some people light sage, or burn incense, or you know, have an eagle feather. Um, okay, so I did that. So Jane, since you are so connected with the spiritual angel world, I'm going to use, of course, my angel and ancestors cards. Spirit angels and ancestors, what messages do you have for Jane this evening? Jane, 2 cards fell out for you. Oh, actually, wow, 4 cards. Okay. Okay. Jane, and these are amazing cards. Wow. Embrace the energy of peace, harness mystical power, see beyond the current situation, and trust your talents. Okay. Jane, you're going to love these cards. Are you ready for me? Okay. The first card is Broken Arrow, and embrace the energy of peace. Let me make sure you can see that well. Okay. As we know, when we don't have peace and we have conflict that drains us, it takes away our spirit. It just makes us tired from all that infighting and just stress. Spirit is asking for you to embrace the peace in your heart. Find that peace. It doesn't mean you always have to forgive, and it doesn't mean you have to forget, but you can let it go. You can let it go for your own self, for your own peace. Okay? So it's asking you to reclaim your power and stop giving it over to others. Okay? And this is interesting because the next card is the High Priestess, harness mystical power. Okay? So if you are holding to conflict and negativity and you haven't embraced the peace and kind of pulled back your energy, there is no way you're going to be able to harvest your magical power. Okay? You're not going to have the strength. You're not going to have different fortitude to do it. So as you see them in progression, because the next card is the Seer. And that is to see beyond the current situation. And you're probably saying, well, why is she telling me this? Why is Spirit telling me, like, to let go of this and I need to harness my mystical power? And it's saying because currently you can't see the bigger picture. Okay? Even though you're very intuitive and you're very insightful, there's that blind spot that's holding you from really seeing what you need to see. Okay? And what's probably going to happen is once you're at the point of letting that go and reclaiming your magic, you're going to have one of those aha moments. You can sit back and say, I get it now. I see what she was talking about. I see what Spirit was trying to tell me all along. And I was just being a little stubborn. Okay? And part of that is your last card is the Spirit Fox, and that's trust your talents in changing times. Okay. That's when you're being asked to do all this, you're going to have to also trust self and say, you know what, I've done this before. I am a spiritual person. I am a magical person. I just need to believe in myself, trust in myself, in being able to do what I need to do, to be able to regain that peace in my heart, let go of this negativity. Like I said, you don't have to forgive and forget. You just have to let go. Sometimes you just put it on the shelf and move on. And you know, you're going to be able to see the bigger picture. And you're going, when you see the bigger picture, you're going to say, okay, now I know what to do. Now I know. Okay, I have the skills, I have the talents, I have the magic. I know what to do for me and my family to move forward. So Jane, I hope that was helpful. Let me see what she wrote. She's probably telling me, oh, please. Look, she wrote, a fox ran through her woods, through her yard. Oh, interesting. This morning. Okay. So Jane, I hope that resonated. And you can always message me later if you have any other questions about that. Okay, so let's see now who is next. So we have Nancy. Let me see here. Okay. Okay, so you want an energy reading around me at this time. Nancy, how about we do the Moonology cards? How do you feel about that? Since we're talking about energy, and we know that the moon and its vibrations impact our energies. Let's see. Alrighty. Interesting. So Nancy, the card that came up for you was the South Node. And don't let your past hold you back. Can you see that well enough? She wrote, it sounds perfect. Are you saying it sounds perfect for the Moonology cards or for the card that was chosen? You know, is there something holding you back from the past? Is there something that you need to let go? Is there something to do regarding, I really believe in doing inner child work. This was a big thing back in the 90s. I don't know if many of you were around. Everybody was talking about your inner child, your inner child, your inner child, your inner child. And there were workbooks and guidebooks and books of books on your inner child. And then it stopped and everybody moved on to the next thing. But Miss Tarady always stayed with it. And working with your inner child, it, as an adult, to sit back and meditate and go inward and find who you were. Who was Miss Tarady as a child? And what made her sad? What made her happy? What circumstances in Miss Tarady, and I'm saying my name, Nancy, because I don't want to put your stuff out there, but, you know, and what happened in our childhoods that brought us to where we are today? And, you know, I think of Hershey when I say this, you know, your inner child. You know, she talks about doing shadow work. And isn't shadow work looking at our inner child and what defenses, what parts of us no longer serve us and that need healing, so that that inner child can feel safe? You know, I always think about it this way. You know, when you go through a traumatic event, a breakup, or there's no more ice cream in the refrigerator, we all cry on the bed, and what happens? We get into that fetal position like a little child. And so we always revert back to that child, Nancy. So when it talks about healing your past, maybe it's time to do that inner child work. Um, yeah, Hershey said, yes, there's a main key factor that causes triggers. Exactly. And and I'm glad, Nancy, that this is resonating with you. Okay. So let me go back to where I start. And I'm going to, how do you take, I don't know how to take off the stars. So I'll just leave them here for me. Um, I did Nancy. Amy, what do you see for the next 2 to 3 months? I see the fall, autumn. I'm just being silly, I'm an old lady. What do we see? I don't know. That's a good question. What do we see for Amy, Warrior Princess, for the next 2 to 3 months? Interesting. What do we see for Amy for the 2 to 3 months coming up for her? 2 to 3 months. All right. Okay, Amy, I hope you're here, and I hope you can hear me. I'm going back and forth. Oh, Amy wrote PTSD. Well, all right, Amy. So I pulled 3 cards from the traditional Rider-Waite Smith deck. And we have the 10 of Swords, the Hierophant upside down in reverse, and then we have the 10 of Cups. Okay, happy family. It almost sounds like the next 2 to 3 months are going to be a process for you where a lot of harm was done to you. You really feel you were harmed by family mostly. I see a lot of family that's harmed you. And you've always tried to fit in, to appease people. And no matter what you did, doll, it always came back to hurt you, okay, to bite you in the ass. And what the cards are basically saying is, stop trying to fit in. Stop being in the mold. Stop trying to be what others want you to be, okay? People don't want this person who is quote unquote out there, like us in the community. We're all out there. Everybody looks at us. They're like, what are you, a witch? What are you, crazy? But we know who we are. And there's people out there who don't want you to be that. They want you to be traditional, in a box. And in order to stop pleasing people, you're just going to have to go break out of that mold and just be you. Just break out of the traditions, follow your own path, let it go, be Amy, be the warrior princess. And it's only that you're going to find happiness. Okay. Now, one thing, because you see the family here, if it's family that's always held you back, you have to remember we can also create our families. I talk a lot about that. In the queer community, many of us get thrown out of our homes and our biological family doesn't talk to us. So we create our own families. And maybe that's what you need to do. Create your own family. So in the next 2 to 3 months, it's all about you working on moving away from expectations of others and creating your new self and creating your new joy. Right? So I hope that was helpful. Alrighty. Let me go back to the start. This is very hard to do. I don't know how Gerald does it with the back and forth, and then he averts your eyes and he just moves people all over the place. Hershey, sure, if you have time, can you check my blind spot? Okay. Ooh, I lost that. Hershey, I lost the clicker thing, whatever, but we're going to check on your blind spot. Spirit. What is Hershey's blind spot? Hershey, by the way, this is not, and you know, we don't do health and legal things, but Spirit is telling me about your left shoulder because you asked about a blind spot, and physically, Spirit is saying that you have sometimes a hard time bending your head towards your left. It hurts sometimes. You get a crick in your neck, but when you look to your left. So physically, you have a blind spot on your neck. And then spiritually, let's see what we got here. Hershey, so you have to, this is the card of victory. Okay, the Chariot. Now, what is this saying about your blind spot? Why does such a positive card come with, well, what am I missing? What, you know, when we say, what is our blind spot? What am I missing? It's almost like a defect. What am I forgetting? And maybe what the victory card is saying, or the triumph card, is that the blind spot is to let go of ego. Okay. Stop trying to force everything and hold everything. Let it go. Trust your intuition. Okay. Trust in your spirit to make things happen. You don't have to have so much control over it. Deep breaths. And part of the blind spot is you're not seeing your victories. You're not taking time or appreciating your accomplishments and your growth. Okay? So what is one of your blind spots right now? It's ego, trying to control everything. Let it go. Let intuition, let spirit guide you. Okay. We all have cards. We all know. So you can always go back and look at your cards, right? And we talk about how the Chariot, you know, he's got the two Sphinx pulling, but he doesn't have any reins on them, you know. The message is to like let it go. Movement. Okay. And it's reminding us to use your psychic ability, use your intuition to kind of move forward, okay, and to appreciate the victories that come your way. Sometimes, that's true too. Your head and your heart might be in two different places. Yeah. So if that's the case, then why are you struggling with that? Are you trying to negotiate that and keep fighting back and forth? Is that what's happening? Uh-huh. So for those of you who can't see, let me just, Hershey, I'm going to try to, struggle is for unity. I struggle with grief and anger and use passion so I can understand what you are saying. Yeah. Yeah, you recognize those issues and you're trying to make it happen. You're trying to fix it. Sometimes you're just going to have to let it go. Just let it go. Let it, let your spirit do it. Let your intuition know what you need to do to deal with those issues. And I think the biggest one is the victories. I think you need to appreciate how far you've come in dealing with those issues. Sometimes I think we forget to look at the small steps. What do they say? It's not the destination, it's the journey. So we all want to see the finish line, but maybe we need to appreciate all the little victories along that way and to get to that finish line. So yeah, so Hershey, that's the message that I got from that card. I hope it resonates. I hope it helps. I hope it gives you some added insight to your growth process. All right, I'm going to see here. I see live. I see a whole bunch of people. Hi, Andy. Hi, Cheyenne. And I appreciate all my chatterers who are helping me by welcoming people and keeping the vibe going while I do this. Thank you, Amy. I love you too. Flowing Jackie, I'm sorry they have lost out on you. Jackie, if it's something that I missed, I hope I find it and I can fix it. Thank you, Jane. For entertainment purposes only. Okay, remember, you're talking to a drag queen tarot card reader. I am not a lawyer or a doctor. Andy. Okay, there's Andy. Okay, so Andy, let's see. She wants something, a reading, but did she? Question, here we go. Okay. What does my spirit guide Edward want me to know today? Edward, I'm going to have my spirit guide talk to Edward. Okay, guys, you need to communicate. Edward, what does Andy need? What does Andy need to know? Andy, are you still with us? Let me give you a second in case. And I think she's here. I like how Gerald has his little phone ringing. Maybe he wants me to know his name isn't Edward. Okay, maybe. But what I got was I used the Angel and Ancestor card. I love that when we're talking about the spirit guides. The Sun card, enjoy success and happiness. So, what's up with that, Andy? What's up with that? What's up with enjoying love and happiness? What is going on with that? Are you going through something? Are you in a place where it feels a little darker, or you don't feel connected to your spirits or to the universe. Yeah. So she's working really hard for my Zen. Yeah. And it seems like you're actually doing better than you're giving yourself credit for, you know, and that maybe you just need to appreciate where you are at the moment. You're working hard for Zen, and I think that's almost counterindicative. I think we shouldn't have to work hard for Zen. Zen just happens when we tend to relax and let go and not try to control things. I think when we are trying to control it and work hard for it, and I know you use that word kind of figuratively, and I know you're probably not doing this. I'm just working off it. When we try to structure, when we try too hard to accomplish Zen, we are not letting go. You know, when we meditate, they say, let the thoughts just run through your mind. Don't try to control it. Don't think about purple elephants. And I think, you know, you're doing a lot better than you think, and you need to enjoy where you're at with that and enjoy the moment. So I hope that helps. I hope that's the message from Spirit that you needed to hear, because, you know, you enjoy your success and your happiness. You know, wherever you are right now, whatever you're feeling, you need to really breathe and enjoy the moment. It's going to get better. Okay. So I hope that helped. I hope that resonated. She wrote, okay, let's see here. I've been a bit disconnected lately because I was ill. When I am sick, I can't connect as easily to guides. So, Andy, I'm glad you wrote that, because Ms. Tara D can totally relate. As you all know, I've been very ill. And for about a year, I just couldn't do any readings. I just was fatigued, and my brain, you know, chemo brain, that's a real thing, by the way, and I couldn't read the cards. But I have to tell you something. That's when I relied on my spirit guides the most. I would just lay on my sofa and let my soul wander out of my body. I feel I can do that. I don't know how many of you do that as well, where your souls just lift up out of your body and travel. And I would feel, as sick as I was, as fatigued as I was, that my soul was connecting to a higher source. It was becoming something bigger. And I would come into the chat rooms and I would feel my soul connect with all of you. And then when I would leave the room, I would feel so much more energized. So, Andy, while you are sick, that is the best time to connect with your spirit guides. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to work for it. You just have to give them permission to communicate and to feel you and connect with you. And trust me, you're going to see a difference. You really are. You're going to develop a real bond. Bye, Nancy. Hugs to Flowing. Flowing, I hope everything's okay. Jane, I'm in total pain flare, but I have to take care of my husband. I need to go somewhere in my head. Yeah. Jane, I should have just had you on with me, because I know when you're on here, it kind of distracts you. Spirit Tribe Talks with Deborah. Hi, Sherry. Voices from the Swamp. Deborah. The soul is powerful. Yes, it is flowing. Sage Rivera. Astral projection. Exactly. Exactly. And I know some of you on your channels have commented how you can do that. You literally can go into other places. Jane talks about portals and going through portals, and letting your spirit move from one portal to another, to different planes. Yeah, Jane has to feed her husband. She's gotten over cooking. She now gives him a can of Campbell's soup and a can opener, and that's how she feeds him. Am I right, Jane? She's had enough, my dear. Yes. I see. I saw the starred ones, and I got all of them. False teeth. Did I do you? And then I'm going through the live, to see who else has asked for a reading, um, because I'm sure I missed people who've asked. If you put it in caps, that would really help. You know, this old broad. Okay. Sherry, are you still with us? Sherry from the swamp. Sherry. I'll too. Because I know she usually is at work during this time, and she's a work lurker. Okay, Sherry. Sherry, can I do a reading for you, my doll? Because I'm always on your channel watching and getting readings, but I never get to really do a reading for you. And if I would love to do a Moonology card. I know you're really connected with that. Okay, great. Good. I like it. Girl. I'm laughing because I already saw what the card is saying, and I know you. It says it's the first quarter moon, and your commitment is being tested. Girl, somebody is working on your last nerve, aren't they? Uh, who is it? What's going on? Your commitment is being tested. Um, what's happening here, girl? See, this is why I wish we could do interactive, because this is saying something. And I know you, and I know you don't take lip, and I know you're not a pushover. And I know that whoever is questioning your commitment, or your, I don't know if it's at work, if they're really like pushing you, and really wanting to know, that would be my job. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yep, you're not being appreciated. Yep. And it's funny because they're not doing right by you, but their projection is that you're not, you're the one. Like, they're blaming you. You're the one that's really not committed to the job. You're the one that doesn't want to be there. Whatever. They're making up all these lies and innuendos, or in their heads, but they're the ones who really aren't appreciating you for your worth and everything you give to that. And I know you work at the college, and I know you go beyond what the school, what your job is or asks you for. But that's why I was laughing, because these hoes that are kind of messing with you, they don't know who you are. They don't know. And they don't know that, you know, you can only take so much before you bite back and you push back and you show them and you show people your worth and you tell them. Yeah, not being appreciated. Yeah. Yeah. But don't. Mm-mm-mm. They might not want to appreciate you, but don't let them be nasty towards you. Mm-mm. And don't let them take advantage of you. Okay? Uh, you know who you are, girl. You know your self worth. You know that there's people who love you. You know you're powerful. You know you're very powerful. Okay, I've seen your channel. I've seen you read. I've seen you work with people. You are a very powerful person. Um, yeah, she's right. That's right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't know if all of you are following Sherry on the chat, but look at that. I do what I'm supposed to do and ignore the rest. Exactly. But there's going to come a day and there's going to come a time where somebody's going to push Miss Sherry too far, you know? And don't let others see you lose your cool because you need that. You need that job, you know? None of these people are paying your rent. But take them somewhere private where there's no witnesses and read them, girl. Just read them. Whoever it is, just read them. Okay? And you let them know who you are and what you're capable of. Okay? But don't do it in public. Don't lose your head. Like I said, you got to pay your bills, put food on your table. The best time to do all that, by the way, is after you found a new job and you've already resigned. Then you could just read a bitch. But until then, just remember you're being tested and you will pass this test. So I hope that helps. Yes. So Sherry's goal is to grow her channel to the point that it will replace her income and I can walk away from the job. Do it. Do it. I see your subscribership growing. I see it every week, more and more people. And you're getting more and more interesting topics and people are tuning into those topics. So do it, girl. I mean, we all have faith in you. I think everybody in this room is here to support you in that. And let us know. I mean, what I try to do is that when I'm on somebody's channel, I like to share it to my Facebook so that people who don't know you or are not on YouTube will see it and might click on and might subscribe. So I encourage everybody to share everybody's channel. Another thing too is 24 hours later, go back and put a comment in the comments because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. And what happens is if you get higher on the algorithm and there's a lot more comments on your profiles, YouTube puts it on that main page. You know how when you log on, you see that home page with all different channels? It'll put you on there so you get greater exposure. So I encourage everybody to do that, okay? What is your channel? And I'll sub, yes. See, this is why I like when you have moderators because they can just do that for you. Because I don't know how to do all that. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to see if I can pull it up. Let me see here. Okay, let me see if I could pull this up. Thank you for being so patient with me, everyone. Let me see if I can do this. And if I do, please give me a round of applause. I think I did it. Sherry, I think I put it on there. And Andy, take a look. I just posted it. Voices from the Swamp. This old broad is learning, huh? Great. And you have a new subscriber. Thank you, Andy, for doing that. Y'all are brave. I need a YouTube channel like I need a hole in the head. I know, Andy. Oh. So just so y'all know, she does private readings. There you go. There you go. Sherry, one of the things that I do, I don't charge anymore. It's just too much for me right now. But I do readings at charitable charities. They'll put me on a table and, we charge $5 a card. And if somebody wants a bigger reading, I'll charge full price. But all the proceeds go towards that charity. So, and it's a nice way to give back to the community, but it's also a nice way for people to get to know you. And you can give them your card or you can have them subscribe. And then people will say, oh, okay, this was really good. And you can say, well, if you want a longer reading, this is my contact information and this is how you could find me. And that's a very good way to pick up your clientele. And I know because when I've done charities, people have asked me, they're like, oh, do you have a website? Can I get a longer reading? How much are your readings? And I'm at the point in my life where you all know I don't have much energy. So I say, well, right now I don't. I'm only doing this. But Sherry, that's a good way, hang out at a charity and just do a couple of free readings. And psychic fairs are wonderful too. Do a couple of psychic fairs. They're really fun, and it's a good way to bring in and expand your work. Jane, thank you. Jane was able to find the link and post it. I love you, Jane. Cheyenne, she just subbed to Sherry. Very good. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. Took a break from content for a while, but little by little, I'm trying to create new content. Tomorrow I have treatment, but I was invited to a wellness festival. If anybody's in the New York City, Bronx area, there's a free wellness day at BAD, Bronx Assembly of Arts and Dance, which is a wonderful organization. It's 100% free, and they do a lot in the Bronx, bringing culture to the Bronx, and they do dance for children free. But tomorrow they're having a healing day. And they're having people who are doing Reiki and acupuncture and nutrition and what else did I see? Yoga. And I was asked to do readings. And I told them, I said, I have to see because many of you know after I get my treatment, it takes me a couple of days to recover. But if I feel okay on Saturday, I will go. And I will put up a video like I did with the Bronx Pride and the Witch Fest. So this way you can see, because I like to share new different things, that are happening in the community. Okay, there we go. Rossi Den, may I have a reading? Is it a general reading? Is that what you're asking for? My hands quickly went to the Moonology cards. I love the Moonology cards, by the way. This is like, I gag when things happen like this. So Rossi, I don't know how long you've been watching, but this is the second time this card has come up in the last hour. Okay. And I shuffle. They all saw me shuffle. It's the South Node. Don't let your past hold you back. I'm giving you a moment. Think about that. Don't let your past hold you back. It's time to sit with spirit and do some contemplation. What is it from your past that's keeping you from moving forward? What is it? There's something there. There's a blockage. Whether it's fear, whether it's childhood trauma, whether whatever it is, and it's keeping you from moving forward. Are you here? Let me see. Did she say anything? I hope this is starting to resonate with you. Like I said, I like to do these more live and interactive because I like to hear what people are saying, because that allows spirit to talk more. I see the word alcohol. I don't know what alcohol has to do with this general reading, but something with alcohol in the past, it's keeping you from moving forward. Whatever that is for you, however that means for you. Was there an addiction in the family or someone you knew that's impacted you, that's keeping you in resentment or keeping you in fear from moving forward? Whatever that is, it's time to let that go. It's time to move forward. It's time to recognize that that's no longer you. I am blocked in my connection, but I'm not sure what. Yeah. It's something from your past, Rossi. It's something from your past. And I think part of it is sometimes when we get to a point where it's like, well, I don't know what it is. We do know what it is. It's just that we're afraid to name it. We're afraid to name it, and we're afraid to look at it. We're afraid to recognize it. Because, our minds, our spirit are no alcohol abuse in the family. Okay. I don't know. That's the word that came up. Think about it. See what happens. See what event. Now that you're at this point where you're ready to look at it, or not that, but to look at what's holding you back. If that comes up, see how it works. See how it does or not. But what tends to happen is things that upset us, in order to survive, we compartmentalize them, and we know how to put them in a box, put them away, ignore them, and move on. And what we need to do is, at some point, little by little, open up those little boxes and look at them and work through them. And that's the only way that we're going to be able to move forward. Because you can only grow by dealing with those issues. If not, you stay stagnant. Okay? So don't let your past hold you back. Start doing some self-reflection. Start doing journal work. Start doing shadow work. Start looking at past work. And just see what's coming up for you and what needs to change. Okay? So that's the message. Like I said, the word alcohol kept coming up, but put a post-it. Maybe you do your best meditating when you're drunk. Who knows? That happens sometimes. I know some people who do mushrooms or they smoke marijuana, and that's when they are able to really do their best work and have greater insight. Maybe that's what it's telling you. I don't know. Spirit just kept saying that word, alcohol, and I don't know what that means. It means something to someone. Okay, Rossi, thank you for letting me read. Spirit Tribe talks with Deborah. Dragon. Okay. I don't know what that's about, but that's I love dragons. I see Dragon Girl. Hi, Dragon Girl. Welcome. All right. Did I miss anybody? I know we're going on an hour, and I know many of you have other things to do, and you're here to support me. Yes, you do, Sherry. Sorry, I was just scrolling back to what Voices from the Swamp wrote. Oh, thank you. A lot of wonderful comments. So we're going on an hour. I think that's a lot for one day. I appreciate all of you coming. So many of you attend, and the support has been amazing. Thank you for letting me read. Sandra, you said I'm late. Did you want a quick reading? And Flowing, did you want to read? Did I read for you, Flowing? I don't think so. Oh, thank you, Jackie, Christine. Flowing and Sanjay. My last two. Yes, please. Okay. What's your question, Jack? Sandra. Am I saying your name right? I'm sorry. No, thank you, Spirit. Sandra, what's your question? Is it a general or do you have a question? All right, Sandra. Yes, please. All right, I'm going to just do a general then. I shuffle the cards. And we have the Chariot and we have the Magician. Okay. How do I put this? Because the end, you're trying to get here. This is where you're trying to get. And this is what you are going to get. Okay. You're going to get mastery. You're not a magician. Okay. He has all his tools. He's mastery. He manifests. He makes things happen. He or she. I'm just, using general pronouns here. They can do anything. Yes, Jackie. It's a wonderful card. They can manifest anything, which shows that you can manifest things. And you have the Chariot or the Victory card. Okay. This is for me is a card of letting go as well and movement. It's a card of letting go of ego. It always reminds me of ego because if you look at him, he's like, I'm the boss. I got this. I'm the charioteer. I control everything. And it's almost reminding us once we let that go, we can get to this point. Because sometimes we stand in our own way. We stand in our own way. And if you stand in front of the Chariot, what happens? You get run over. You get run over. So sometimes you got to kind of let it go. You will be victorious. This is a very positive card, and you are going to become the Magician. You are going to be able to manifest your intentions, your goals, and your dreams. So I hope this was helpful. And that's it. And Flowing went to take a nap, which I'm going to do as well. All right, guys. Well, thank you all. I appreciate you all helping me out today. I couldn't do this without you. I've learned how to start people. on StreamYard. I've learned how to do the little banner things on the bottom. Jane said Jane became my moderator. She said, did I make you? Is there like a little thing, a tool or something that shows you're a moderator, or you just made yourself my honorary moderator, which is fine, Jane. Jane and I also planning to do some more readings together. And I think next week, yes, sorry, I'm a little confused. I'm on the calendar with Indigo Jaguar, Heather, to do a live with her. So I'm sure she'll post a nice little flyer with our pictures on it. She does beautiful flyers to let everybody know. Darn, you turned my computer on, darn. Yeah, so I'm going to be with her. So I'm trying to kind of get these in. I'm going back to work in September. I don't want to. I don't feel ready. But, you know, all of you and I, we've spoken about this. I need my insurance. My current treatments are about $30,000 a month. Who can afford that? You know? So I'll be going back to work to keep my insurance. And then I'll be figuring out while I'm at work other possibilities, other options. But in the meantime, so I won't be able to do lives during the day as much, but maybe I could do on the weekend or in the evening. With some of you, I can come onto your channels and we could do it like that. I know, Jane, it really shouldn't be that way. And unfortunately, like many of you know, a multiple melanoma, you know, you can live with it 6 months, you can live with it 20 years. But you have to be in treatment. If you don't go to treatment or you stop, you're not going to have a life, you know. But the treatments are expensive. It's so you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. I was having this conversation with my husband the other day, and I was like, baby, maybe I'll stop all the treatments. We stop. We sell our apartment and we just go. We go somewhere, and if it's 6 months, if it's a year, whatever, we'll just do it. We'll just deal with it. You know, he was not too happy about that. He was not too happy. He's like, no, you're going to treatment. You know, but you know, I love all of you. Really, I've made such amazing friends and connections during this time here on YouTube with so many of you. And you supported me through all this drama. You know, now I'm glad, though, that I'm at a point, like I said, if I'm okay on Saturday after my treatment, I plan to go and volunteer at the health fair. You know, and I'll go and drag and do readings for people. And the topic is using tarot, what was it? For wellness, using tarot for wellness. So, you know, I'll do readings, but I'll also educate people on how when you read for self and you can journal and begin to work on self and use spirit to guide you. And spirit never harms. Okay, remember that. If there's ever a spirit that's telling you something harmful, that's not your spirit. That's not your ancestors. And that needs to be taken care of. And by the way, there's a lot of people in our tarot community who know how to eliminate negative spirits for free, okay? Careful of those who, for $300, I can take away this evil. Many of us will do it for free, so don't worry. But part of wellness is connecting with your spirit guide, connecting with your ancestors, connecting with that lineage of community, and allow them to heal you, allow them to fill you, allow them to bring you insight to your strengths, to your positivities, allow them to support you when you're dealing with that inner child stuff. Okay, so that's kind of what I want to do when I'm talking to people about how do you use tarot for healing? How do you pick up a card a day? Each day, just pick up a random card. I just pulled one. What do you need to release? And spend a day just contemplating this card. Carry it with you, looking at the moon, looking at the snow, looking at the trees, and just walk into the image and say, what do I need to release? So see, this is how we use tarot for healing. Okay, so that's kind of what I plan to do. Thank you, Sherry. Yes. Okay, so I can talk on forever. Gerald doesn't like to have me on his show because I talk too much. I'm sorry, but I love tarot. I love to talk. All right, my friends. Oh, yeah, Jackie. See, Jackie Crystal Moon. She started at lockdown. She started daily card readings to cheer people up. Yeah, share your gifts, make people happy. Jane, I love to catch Jane in the mornings. Usually her readings during the early part of the week kind of carry me through the rest of the week. And I love Jane's readings because they're mostly angel readings, and she's connected to a totally different plane. And you could almost feel that energy exuding from her because she's a wonderful channeler. She channels. I really believe a lot of her messages come through from her angel guides. Yeah, Sherry, I will be on your channel. Let's pick a date. I always wondered why Sherry doesn't. I would love to see you because you are from the South, New Orleans, to do a show or invite someone on your show that really deals with voodoo. Because I think so many of us have a negative connotation about it or perception about it, and it would be really wonderful to hear someone really talk about it in a positive light and how it's used and the culture behind it. I would totally love to see that. Okay. All right, everyone. I'm going to head off. And I want to thank you all again for helping me to learn this new technology. It was fun. It was fun. I like the fact that I can add people to it. Let me see how. I don't know how to add people. If you add them on now or later, I don't know how you add people to where you could have 2 or 3 people. I'm going to learn how to do that. So I can invite people and we could do it here. And I'm going to play around a little bit more with YouTube. I like the YouTube. Found YouTube to be a little easier. You just can't star people. And I don't know if you can write the little banners on the bottom. I'll play with that as well. So everyone have a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.